empower young Indians. In collaboration with UNICEF, they have come up with UVA, wherein they co-create solutions with young people to ensure that they are drivers and agents of social change. This UNICEF campus initiative is a growing grassroots movement rooted in a belief that a college student has a vital role to play in helping the world's development. For this, today we have the team from UVA who are going to talk about various themes like mental health, gender, digital literacy, among others. We welcome Mr. Dhruv Mistry, the speaker, who is a community lead at UVA. As a community lead, he and his team take care of building offline communities of students and operations and execution. We also have with us Mr. Gokul Pillai, Ms. Cynthia Gupta, Ms. Arushi Garg, and Ms. Janki Budaria. Without much ado, let's begin.
Hi guys. Hi. Hi. कैसे हो? How are you? How are you? Okay, great. As introduced, my name is Dhruv Mistry. I'm the community lead at UVA. As community lead, it is my responsibility to make communities of people with similar talents, interests, backgrounds, and then I engage with them. Before coming to actually UNICEF on Campus Knowledge Initiative, you guys need to know why we are doing this. Okay, so last year, sometime in November, December, we got in touch with around 250-300 students from Gujarat, and we started speaking with them on virtual platforms. Okay, and the reason we did this study was कि हमको जानना था कि हम सोच रहे कि गुजरात के यूथ को ये चीजें चाहिए, but till the time I don't listen to you guys, I will not know that what are the things that you actually need. Okay. So then after this conversation, we understood a lot of things about the students from Gujarat and their needs and what is it that they actually need. Okay. So what we did is we compiled all the data. We printed a manifesto which was between UVA and UNICEF, and we took this manifesto to the government of India. Okay, and we told them that okay, you think कि गुजरात के यूथ को ये चीजें चाहिए, पर ये चीजें नहीं चाहिए, गुजरात के यूथ को ये सारी चीजें चाहिए. Coming to UVA, we are a socially conscious youth media company. If you have phone, if you have network, and if you want to, you can join us at VRUVA. We will never ask you to follow us. You can join us at VRUVA, and you guys can go through the type of content that we produce for ourselves and for the brands that are associated with us. We have 4 verticals. One is content and social media. Second is community that I lead. Third is the research and insights under which the manifesto was produced and published. And the last vertical is a socially conscious vertical, which works with the CSR wings of the brands that are associated with this. We founded UVA with the intention that we wanted to earn money, right? I mean, as a company, we wanted to earn money, but then also we wanted to contribute positively into the students' lives. And that's when we got an insight that everyone wants to talk to the youth. No one wants to listen to you. Be it your brand, education institution, be it government, be it your house, सबको उसके साथ बात करनी, यूथ का कोई सुनेंगे बोलेंगे कि अरे यार ये मुझे समझ में कैसे आएगा, आप सुनते ही नहीं हो तो समझ में कैसे आएगा. Right. So that's how we started UVA. We started listening. We did 2 road shows across the country. We have gone to more than 120 colleges across 27-28 cities, and we have just listened to the youth. Trust me, मैं इतना बात नहीं करता हूँ. Okay, it's just that I have the mic, I have the podium, right? That's the reason I'm talking since I'm leading this. But after this, we have our storytelling open mic, and during the open mic, I will just sit down here and I will just listen to you guys and to your stories. Okay. Coming to the UNICEF on Campus Knowledge Initiative, the major insights that we understood was कि youth बोल रहा है कि हमारे आजू-बाजू में leaders नहीं है, ठीक है? We and on top of that, we want to become the leaders. One of the major insights that we got was youth is saying that we don't have safe spaces for us to talk things about. Okay. Youth also said that like there are no listeners. Like we don't know where do we go and we talk to people. Okay, everyone said we want to talk to people. Okay, and keeping that in mind, we designed the campaign UNICEF on Campus Knowledge Initiative. The agenda is to provide you guys with better learning, better healthcare, and better other protective services when it comes to socially pressing issues in our country. Today's session will revolve around the importance of mental health via storytelling and unlabeling, and also we'll speak about unlearning and under the belt of UNICEF on Campus Knowledge Initiative, we will also eventually we will also cover socially pressing issues like child marriage, child labor, gender issues, the other problems that our country is facing when it comes to like during the post-COVID times majorly. Uh, Also, one of the reasons that we are here is because still, even after speaking with 250, 300 people virtually, I can't claim sitting in Bombay or Gandhinagar or Ahmedabad that I understand the youth of my country. Okay, and that is the reason we have come to you guys and we are here to listen to you guys. We like Gandhinagar is the last district that we are visiting. We are already done with 7 other districts covering 13, 14 colleges. And yes, after our session, all the insights and all the understanding that I'll get will produce another manifesto, and then we'll go across to the government and we'll be like, these are the things that the youth of Gujarat actually needs. And then this manifesto will be published on the international forum by UNICEF, telling the world that this is the youth of Gujarat, okay, and not Ranveer Singh from Kirorimal College in Bandwaja Bharat is the youth of our country. Okay, so anyway, that's majorly the introduction of UNICEF on Campus Knowledge Initiative. Uh, Currently, we are going to focus on the storytelling as a session that I'm going to take, followed by the open mic, wherein I will be listening to you guys, to your incidences, to your experiences, to your stories, etc. Uh, I know we're living in the COVID era now. We have seen medical infrastructure of countries better than us, GDP better than us, collapsing in front of us. We somehow managed, but यार eventually हम लोग देख रहे हैं ना कि यार कोविड की केसेस वापस आ रहे हैं. And one of the reasons कि कोविड के केसेस वापस आ रहे हैं is because जो adolescent population है ना 18 to 59 वाली जो population है, they are not taking the precautionary dose. Government started COVID Amrit Mahotsav, wherein for 75 days, starting from 15th of July till the end of September, there is free vaccination for the adolescent population, and they'll be giving the medicines also, and everything will be taken care by the government. यहाँ पे किनका इनका second dose हो चुका है? Show of hands. Okay, great. Majorly everyone. And if it's already been 6 months from your second dose of vaccination to right now, then again, कोई force नहीं कर रहा हूँ, but I would request you guys to get the slotting done, get your vaccination done, because we must have come across a lot of people. हम लोग ने ऐसे देखा ही होगा कि during the first jab, folks are like हमको vaccination नहीं लेना है, कि हमारी immunity तो पहले से strong है, या कोई बोलेगा कि what if research नहीं है ज़्यादा, अगर vaccination backfire कर गया तो, right? All this is correct, maybe not. But when you're not taking your vaccination and you get COVID, if you're symptomatic, then it's okay. Life is easier. कि क्या करना है? Isolation में रहना है, Instagram scroll करना है, PUBG खेलना है, right? It's easy. But when it's asymptomatic और आप जब भी बाहर निकलते हो, you have the potentially you are going to affect a lot more people unknowingly. And as educated Indians, so as educated citizen of our country, we shouldn't do that. Okay, so starting 15 July, it's going to be there for 75 days. I will not force you guys, but I will urge you guys कि अगर हो सकता है तो please get your vaccination done. The gap has been reduced by between the second dose and the precautionary dose by 6 months. So if it's already been 6 months, then please I would request you to get the appointment done and get the precautionary dose also sorted for you guys. That's it. That's all about COVID. The presentation that we have made is of the Gully Boy theme. The interaction that I want to have is not just I'm going to speak and you're going to listen. No, we are going to make it interactive. Whenever there's a dialogue that's coming in, unanimously हम लोग एक बार ऐसा dialogue साथ में बोलेंगे. That is one thing. Second, अगर मैं कुछ पूछूंगा ना, so even if you don't want to raise your hand and say it, just say it out loud, okay? Because there are no wrong answers here, okay? And there will be times when I'll ask you guys to show off hands and everything, and let's make it a little more interactive. ऐसा नहीं है कि I'm just here and talking to you guys. Yes. Okay. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Storytelling.
Thank you. It's always the first guy that is needed, okay, for the snowballing effect to happen. So we will do it together this time. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Storytelling जैसा कोई hardest नहीं है.
Yes. So why story matters? Okay. यहाँ पे कौन बैठा है जो ये बोल सकता है कि मैं storyteller हूँ? Show of hands. Nice. Why do you think you're a storyteller?
I love talking to people and like every story has its own feel. And whenever a person speaks, मतलब मैं कोई story सुना रहा हूँ उसका कोई एक अलग meaning निकलेगा, आप कोई story सुना रहे हो उसका कोई अलग meaning निकलेगा. And stories changes when the person change. So that incites me a lot. मेरे को वो change देखने में बहुत मजा आता है. And when you listen to experiences, when you listen to people, it is good.
Okay, great. What is your name?
Harsh Tiwari.
Ash, nice meeting you. Why do you think you are a student? You raised your hand. Right?
I just
You raised.
yeah, I love talking in general. I can talk to anyone. I can talk to myself. If you ask me to talk to that chair and tell a story, I'll do that also. Yeah,
Okay.
so like love talking in general. I love narrating experiences. So like it just makes me happy.
Awesome. So, okay, we have few storytellers in the house right now. Now, the second question is going to be a little difficult. Okay, listen to me very carefully. Who all here are human beings? Show of hands. Confusion. Like show of hands. Yeah, who all are human beings? So the reason I ask this question is because if you're a human being, you are a storyteller, and I will prove it. Okay. If you like talking, if you like writing, everything, all these are formats that you use, all these are platforms that you use. But as human beings, we are all storytellers. Okay. We shall also cover the fact that we have been taught a lot of things when we were kids. या स्कूल में बहुत सारी चीजें सिखाई है जो maybe वो टाइम पे सच थी, गलत थी, I don't know. But आज की डेट में ना we need to unlearn those things and we need to learn new things. Okay, for us to understand ourselves and the world around us, the society around us a little better. Okay. Now when I said I will prove it, अच्छा. Human beings have been storytellers since the inception of time. Okay, since the human beings are there, we have been storytellers. हमारे जो cavemen थे ना, वो cave के अंदर क्या करते थे? Paintings करते थे, right? And वो paintings क्या थी? वो टाइम की stories ही थी. ठीक है. So जब भी हम हमारे forefathers थे, तभी हम लोग storytellers थे. आज किसी ने हाथ खड़ा नहीं किया. I'll give you an even better example. जब भी हम स्कूल से घर आते थे, तो हमारे पेरेंट्स हमसे क्या पूछते थे?
How was the day?
How was the day, right? And then हम स्टार्ट करते थे ना कि हाँ हम स्कूल आज लेट पहुंचे, मैथ के प्रोफेसर नहीं आए थे, ध्यान नहीं दे रहा था तो टीचर ने डांटा, आज भी मेरी क्रश ने मुझे नहीं देखा, right? We tell the entire story. So as kids, everyone here was a storyteller, but now किसी ने ऐसे पूरे क्लास में ऐसा हाथ खड़ा नहीं किया. You know why? Because as kids, no, we have always been taught a certain things. As kids, we are always taught that stories are fictional. Stories once upon a time से चालू होती है. पर अगर stories fictional है, once upon a time से चालू होती है, तो biopics क्यों बन रही है? Why are we going and watching धोनी का movie? Second thing is we have always been taught that stories are a 3-act structure. ठीक है? हम लोग 10 मार्क का वो ऐसे राइटिंग करते थे ना, जिसमें स्टार्ट में होता था कि ऐसे सिखाया गया था कि एक 3 पैराग्राफ में तुमको तुम्हारी स्टोरी लिखनी है. पहले 3-4 लाइंस होगी जो इंट्रोडक्शन होगा, फिर बीच की 10-12-15 लाइन होगी जो आपका बॉडी होगा, एंड फिर नीचे आपको एक कंक्लूजन देना है 4-5 लाइन का. ठीक है? Just ask yourself, okay, हाँ ना बोलने की हाथ रेस करने की जरूरत नहीं. Just ask yourself, if you start telling your story right now till this day, till this moment, can you fit it in 3 paragraphs? So ये भी तो गलत सिखा. So there are a lot of things that we've been taught as kids. Okay, now we slowly need to unlearning those things, and we'll start learning new things. Okay, when it comes to storytelling, the power of storytelling, stories always inspire more stories. ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ होगा कि आपके फ्रेंड ने अगर आपको कुछ स्टोरी आके बता रही है, आप किसी को कुछ इंसिडेंट बता रहे हो, उसके बाद उधर रुक जाएगा. It will always inspire कि हाँ ये ऐसा हुआ, मेरा सुन मेरे साथ क्या हुआ. So stories always inspire more stories. When you share your stories, no, say sitting in Gandhinagar, if you are sharing your story, if the story is going to people across the country, or if someone else is hearing your story in Patna or Kerala or anywhere, that person will automatically start feeling less alone. Okay, we sitting here, no, the youth, we think that our stories don't matter. Okay, we think that our experiences don't matter. There are multiple reasons to it. We'll cover that. But if it's happened with you, it's unique, and your story does matter. Okay, so it's just that it's our choice whether we are telling our story or we are not telling our story. Okay, also it's a digital age, right? It's a digital era. So social media has put in story in everyone's hand. Okay, so when I started we call it the road show. So when I started the road show, I put in a photo with my crew saying that very excited, let's kill it. Okay, and everyone was smiling, and we had the canvas in hand, and it was a very pretty picture. Like around 1,200-1,300 people on my Instagram had seen it. Okay, so in the digital age, because of the access to the internet and social media, everyone has platforms on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, etc. And this has given a story in our hands. Okay, so every picture that you put is a story, every caption that you put is a story. But there is one story that we tell to the world. Okay, एक स्टोरी होती है जो हम इंस्टाग्राम पे डालते हैं और एक स्टोरी होती है जो हम एक्चुअली जीते हैं. एक स्टोरी वो होती है जो हम इंस्टाग्राम पे डालते हैं, दूसरी स्टोरी होती है जो रियलिटी होती है, जो ट्रूथ होती है, वो हम कभी नहीं बताते. यहाँ पे कोई ऐसा बोल सकता है कि जिसने ऐसा इंस्टाग्राम पे डाला हो कि आज मेरा बेस्ट फ्रेंड के साथ झगड़ा हो गया, आज मेरी मॉम के साथ झगड़ा हो गया, या आज मैं फेल हो गया. हम ये नहीं डालते. We choose to tell the stories which are in sync with other stories, but we do not choose to tell the stories that we are actually living. मेरी स्टोरी जो जितने लोगों ने देखी थी ना, वो लोग ने जो स्टोरी मैंने दिखाई ना, वो वाली स्टोरी देखी थी कि एवरीवन वाज स्माइलिंग एंड वी वर एक्साइटेड एटसेट्रा. और उसके पीछे की स्टोरी मैं अभी बताऊंगा. उसके पीछे की स्टोरी ये थी कि मैं बहुत ज्यादा स्ट्रेस में था कि कैंपेन निकालना है. मैं बहुत ज्यादा डरा हुआ था कि मैं बॉम्बे से 20 दिन के लिए दूर जा रहा हूँ. मेरी मॉम अकेली है, अगर कुछ फैमिली इमरजेंसी आ गई तो, मेडिकल इमरजेंसी आ गई तो. मैं ये डरा हुआ था कि मैं ये यूनिवर्सिटी में संडे को आऊंगा और कोई भी नहीं बैठा होगा तो यहाँ पे. Right. So these are the story that I'm actually living is what I'm telling you right now. But वो मैं Instagram पे नहीं डाल पाया था. Limitations. Or maybe I did not choose to tell it to everyone. So digital age has given stories in every one of us. It's just the matter of fact that do we choose to tell it to people or not. Also, when it comes to the power of storytelling, you guys can see, right? Mohit Ahmedabad. Mohit goes by the name Mo now. Mo is here. We met Mo sometime in 2019. It was our first road show. It was our first open mic in Ahmedabad, and Mohit were there. And like when we asked him, do you want to share the story? Mo says, yes, I do want to share my story. So actually, since Mo is here, I will not be sharing Mo's story because it's his story to say. Mo, can we have you here?
It's funny how I'm wearing something that has pockets for the first time. It's very nice to have that. Some of you might be able to relate. Hi, my name is Mo. My pronouns are they, them, and that's me about 3 years ago. And I don't know if you can see because of the light, but there's a lot of shine on my head. That's not highlight, that's sweat. Okay, and we were sitting in a good AC, like a very good cafe, it had AC and all. And I was still sweating because I was scared to my toes. If you see the video even today, it's up there, and I've talked about my journey of coming out as queer and my struggles with my family, people around me, studying in a government college in Ahmedabad. And you folks live in Gandhinagar, so it's not that different. I think you can relate. Some of you can. And I was scared throughout. I went for the open mic to share a poem. I ended up sharing my life story. Because someone out there, someone in that open mic came up and shared their story, and that inspired me to share my story. So it goes something. I'm just gonna sit down, it's more comfortable. Is that okay with everyone? Thanks. So yeah, it basically starts with me coming out at the age of 15, struggling throughout because no one would accept me. My parents were I come from an Orthodox Marwadi family, and that in a joint Marwadi family. So you can imagine. If you can't imagine it's shitty, please don't imagine that. Like it's a very shitty thing to be in. But yeah, I had a lot of struggles throughout, and one thing that went right for me is 2.5, 3 years after coming out, I confessed to my best friend at that time that, hey, listen, I'm bi. And that was the first person to be like, hey, you know what, it's fine. It's okay. It's who you are and you can't change it and you don't want to change it, so why not? So yeah, and that gave me like a little bit of courage to be who I am, and since then things went a little better. And then I went there. So that was in February of 2019, and I was very happy about the fact that I'm going for an open mic. And then they were like, hey, why don't you share your story? I had to go pee 4 times because I was nervous, just because of that. And after that, I started sharing my story. It kept going and on and on and on, and they put it online on YouTube. And I was half expecting like people will be like using all those derogatory terms that you can imagine of calling me whatever they want, but that didn't happen. What happened was people came out in support. People called me courageous. People called me amazing. Told me that I'm living my truth and that's beautiful. And all of that, there was this one person that I still remember. They texted me this long ass message on Instagram saying, "Hey, I saw your video and I want you to know that you have given me courage to come out and tell my story. I can accept myself for who I am because of you. Thank you for that." And of course, it's on YouTube, so everyone can see it. And my parents came across it as well. So that was a couple hard months to live with. My dad was all about what will be your image in the society. Do you have any clue what you're doing? How can you do this? It's mental illness. Every other thing a queer person has heard in their life. So it was all that, and I was broken again. I guess. I mean, I have come to a point where their opinion does not matter to me. But at that time, I was 20 something old, and they are still going on, and it really broke me. So what I did was I moved out. I had to move out, and I started collecting all these messages. And and to make myself feel better, I would put them in a scrapbook. So I have this huge scrapbook, and I think it's not just one now. I have this box of like affirmations, I call them, with like people writing notes, affirming me or whatever. I've printed them or they're handwritten, and I put them all together. And I go to them every single time I feel down. And that is what this community has done for me. I live my truth. Now it's very nice to be who I am. I did computer engineering, okay? And being an engineer and being queer are very difficult things. They are not compatible together, trust me. So after that, I worked in social sector. I changed my field. I'm working as a fashion assistant stylist right now. Like I have completely gone across the spectrum. And those notes and everything, I took them to my mom one day and I was like, "Hey, listen, you are worried about society, right? You might not accept me, your friends might not accept me, your society might not accept me, but mine does. The the place I live in, the people I live with, they accept me, and this is my truth." And my mom, I mean, of course, like her validation matters. Come on, like I can be like, "Hey, you don't matter to me, you can die and I won't care," but it's not true. It matters. And she just said, like, "Do whatever you want. As long as you're happy, we don't care." And that helped me a lot. Since then, I've been telling my story every time, and I love telling stories because sharing is what made me who I am. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for that day, if it weren't for multiple other times I've told my story, if it weren't for wearing a jumpsuit for the first time. I mean, if it weren't for telling my story here, I probably would have come. I wouldn't have been here telling my story to you folks. I wouldn't have been wearing this outside ever because let's face it, if someone sees me outside on the street, they're gonna make comments. Like you all know that. I wouldn't be able to do this. I wouldn't have courage if no one listened to me. And if I didn't talk. That's why I wasn't a storyteller back then. I'm not a storyteller right now. I'm learning. But the fact that I can share it, I can tell you, I can put it out there that, "Hey, listen, I went through this and maybe you did too." But it's okay, it gets better. I'm living on my own right now. I'm earning decent, but I'm getting by and I'm very happy. I'm supremely happy. And it comes. Maybe you're not happy right now, maybe you're struggling right now, maybe there are things that are going opposite to what you want it to be. I mean, honestly speaking, I was supposed to be in Canada today. I was supposed to go to Canada like 2 weeks back. My visa didn't come through and I'm stuck here. But I'm okay with it. Things don't go your way all the time, but it's okay. They turn out pretty good. So yeah, I mean, I won't go into details of my story. It's very bleh. It's very triggering actually and very sad. And this is a great space to be happy and to share. So that's it. Just please come here, share your story. I swear you might be scared, you might sweat a lot, and you might have to go to washroom a couple of times. And knowing that the washroom is so far from the third floor, I can imagine how hard it will be. But yeah, at the end of it, you will feel it's a feeling I can't describe. I'm sorry, but like it's a great feeling. It feels very light. I mean, it's a good feeling. So yeah, please have a good time. And if you want to share your story, that would be great. Thank you. Shall I just? Yeah.
Mo, how are you feeling now?
Pretty good. I was nervous again. I mean, you just dropped it on me, and I was like, "Cool, let's do it." But I'm glad that you all listened. Thank you so much.
Yes, Mo, thank you so much for sharing. So yes, this is. I mean, to all the other universities that we've been to, Mo couldn't travel with us. The reason Mo is here is because we are in Gandhinagar right now, and I'm very happy. I'm so happy that you could make it. Mo story, I think, was the first story that we shared to our account. We currently we have close to 300,000 family on Instagram. Back then we had maybe 3,000 or 5,000. One of the reasons that the story picked up and the story went across the country is because Mo decided to share the story straight from their heart. Okay, and it was the truth. Okay, coming to the truth, we'll cover. Will I mean, does anyone want to add anything? Do you want to say anything? Anything that you want to ask?
Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free.
Maybe. Hey, you heard about Dr. Jordan Peterson?
Jordan Peterson?
Peterson.
Jordan Peterson? No, I don't.
Okay. If you do, I want to know the views about him in regards to. Yes.
I have not heard about them, but I can look them up, and I can talk to you.
Thank you.
Okay, great. So we'll move on to the next part. It's called Find Your Truth. Again, there's a dialogue here. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
अभी कोई और बताएगा मैं कौन हूँ.
Correct, right? अगर मुझे आपके बारे में जानना होगा, तो मैं आपसे पूछूंगा किसी और से पूछूं. I'm talking to you. Exactly, right? So अभी कोई और बताएगा कि मैं कौन हूँ. So it's Find Your Truth. Here we are going to cover. So एक सच्चाई होती है, ठीक है? एक ट्रूथ होता है जो हम लोग ने एक्सेप्ट किया है, हमारा आजू बाजू है. एक ट्रूथ होता है जो हम लोग ने सबकॉन्शियस से एक्सेप्ट किया होता है. एंड देन देयर इज अ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, कश्मकश होती है, ठीक है? ऑलवेज देयर इज अ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट. सो कमिंग टू द ट्रूथ, हम लोग ने ये बहुत बार सुना है ना कि हर कहानी की एक सच्चाई होती है. दैट इज ट्रू. हर कहानी की एक सच्चाई होती है. आपकी कहानी की भी सच्चाई है, पर आपने क्या वो चूज किया है बताना आपकी सच्चाई. इंस्टाग्राम पे हम लोग ने क्या डाला और क्या नहीं डाला, जो डाला है उसके पीछे की स्टोरी क्या है, आप क्या फील कर रहे थे, आपका मूड कैसा था, आप क्या सोच रहे थे. अगर आपने ये नहीं डाला है ना, तो आपकी जो एक्चुअल स्टोरी है ना, कभी बाहर आनी ही नहीं है. ठीक है? सिमिलरली व्हेन इट कम्स टू कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, ओके, मैं जब एंटर हुआ ना, तो मैंने सबसे पहले क्या पूछा आपसे, कैसे हो, हाउ आर यू, राइट? सबने क्या आंसर दिया? सच्ची में यू गाइस आर फाइन, एवरीथिंग इज ओके, कुछ लाइफ में स्ट्रेस ही नहीं है.
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है.
एग्जैक्टली. बट अगेन हम लोग को बचपन से यही सिखाया गया है ना कि जब भी हम लोग बेसिक एटिकेट्स मैनरिज्म सीख रहे थे स्कूल में, घर पे, तो हमसे बोला गया था कि कोई भी तुमको आके ये पूछेगा ना कि हाउ आर यू, तो उसका आंसर दे देना आई एम फाइन. ठीक है? हमको ये बोला था कि अगर कोई पूछेगा ना कैसे हो, तो बोल देना कि अच्छे है. ठीक है? नाउ इमेजिन कि आप लाइक बैचमेट्स हो, राइट? यू गाइस आर सिटिंग विद योर फ्रेंड्स. सो नाउ इमेजिन अ फैक्ट कि आपने आपके बेस्ट फ्रेंड को या आपके किसी फ्रेंड को पूछा कि हाउ आर यू, और उसे बताना चालू कर दिया, बैठ बताता हूँ. Are you guys ready for it? क्या आप रेडी हो वो चीज के लिए? नहीं, हम लोग रेडी है चीज के लिए, क्योंकि हम लोग को बचपन से ये भी बोला गया है कि यार लोगों के साथ जाके बात करो, एजुकेशन कॉम्पिटिशंस में पार्टिसिपेट करो, ट्रैवल करो, लोगों से मिलो. पर हमको कभी भी ये नहीं सिखाया गया कि यार लोगों की सुनना चालू करो. लेट्स स्टार्ट लिसनिंग टू पीपल रादर देन लेट्स जस्ट स्टार्ट टॉकिंग टू द पीपल, राइट? सो that is the subconscious truth that we've been taught since our childhood. When it comes to conflict, जब भी हम लोग सोशल मीडिया पे कुछ डालने के पहले डर क्यों लगता है? Why are we afraid before we put something on the social media, or when we decided to share something? What is वो कौन सा डर है हम लोग जो हमेशा लगता है?
लोग क्या कहेंगे?
लोग क्या कहेंगे? Correct. Judgments, right? Judgmental behavior is what stops us from sharing things, right? And ये judgmental behavior का जो trigger जो हमारे दिमाग में आता है, वो क्यों आता है? What is the reason behind us being scared? Like हाँ, लोग judgmental है, पर हमको ये क्यों लग रहा है कि लोग बहुत ज़्यादा judgmental है? Exactly. Oh fuck. Like oh, I'm so sorry. I really need to clap for this. You know, the reason we are unable to share something, you know, is because कहीं ना कहीं जब भी कोई और शेयर करता है ना, तो हम लोग भी उसको जज करते हैं, and उस वजह से हम लोग कभी शेयर नहीं कर पाते. ठीक है, so that is always a conflict that we have. Okay, so when you don't fear the judgment, or when you don't have fear of judgment, and you share your story, the world heals together. Because you know that you are not going to judge, and when you share your story, the other person is also going to share their heart out, and you will start listening to each other. Once you start listening to each other, you will start understanding each other. Once you start understanding each other, you cannot be mad with that person, and when you are not mad with that person, you will not fight. Okay. The reason that there is a lot of conflict, and the reason there is a lot of hatred, is because we don't listen. Okay. Coming to the other subconsciously accepted truth is, being the developing country since past lot of years, every year we face, or every day we face a major social challenge which we think कि individual level पे हम लोग कैसे solve करेंगे. One of the major things in our country is child labor. Okay, like we will not find a child working at a firecracker factory, or we will not find a child working at a construction site, because the rules are very strict. But आप जैसे कैंपस के बाहर जाओगे, आप चाय वाले के पास जाओगे, वहां पे मिलेगा आपको, होटल में मिलेगा आपको, रेलवे स्टेशन पे मिलेंगे, राइट. एंड कहीं ना कहीं हम लोगों ने खाली एक्सेप्ट करके रखा है कि हाँ, इंडिया में तो चाइल्ड लेबर है, ठीक है, like it's okay, it's just a part of it. And trust me, when we spoke with you guys during the manifesto, we realized that this has increased after COVID. Okay. Again, you know, when it comes to solving child labor on an individual level, it's pretty difficult. But before I started talking, and I said that I'm going to listen to you guys. ऐसा किसी ने पहला आके आपसे बोला है कि मैं आपकी सुनने वाला हूँ, आप बताओ.
अभी तक तो नहीं.
Correct. Yes, I mean, ये कोई 1+1 2 नहीं, absolute truth की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ मैं, but I'm sure majorly नहीं हुआ है, right? तो आपको लग रहा है कि वो जो बच्चा जो काम कर रहा है उसके साथ हुआ होगा. Next time, whenever you see, you know, again, कोई force नहीं है, it's a very feel good thing that we can do. Whenever next time when you see a child who is working, उसके साथ बैठना, उसको बोलना कि यार तेरी story क्या है, बता. And then you see the smile that person will have on their face. Okay, someone does care about me. Okay, someone is there to listen to me. Okay. Yes, child labor, as I said, like as a social problem, it's a very huge thing that's happened in our country, and we are working towards it. A lot of NGOs are working towards it, the government is working towards it. At an individual level, you know, like this is something that I always do whenever I see a young person working. I do go to them and I have a conversation with them. If you guys can do it, it's great. We'll collectively start making the younger population, the future of our country, a little bit less alone when we listen to them. That was about the truth and the conflict. What makes you authentic? What makes your content human? Again, you know, since Mo is here, I will like to talk about Mo's story. The reason the story was very authentic, the reason the content that Mo shared was very human is because Mo decided to share it straight from the heart. Okay, Mo decided that I'm going to share the truth, and that is the reason. So whenever you guys decide that you guys want to share something straight from the heart, and when you guys decide that you want to tell the truth, that will make you guys, that will make your content human, that will make your stories authentic. We don't need to have a lot of money in our bank account to make our stories relevant. We don't need to achieve a lot of things before sharing our stories. Okay. Does anyone want to add anything? Or actually we can have all the questions and everything once I'm done talking. Third is find the relevance. Relevance is what is relatable to you guys. We have another dialogue from Aryawat. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
मैं अपना लैंग्वेज बदलेगा जो मेरे पर्पस से मेल खाए.
बचपन से हम लोग ने somewhere right, we have a mental conditioning. हम लोग ने शायद ये खुद कर दिया, बहुत ज्यादा देखा है कि when it comes to language ना, English is the language. कि अगर इंग्लिश में बात नहीं करोगे तो रिस्पेक्ट नहीं होगी, इंग्लिश में बात नहीं करोगे तो आपको फिट इन करने नहीं मिलेगा, इंग्लिश में बात नहीं करोगे तो आपकी चीजें मैटर नहीं करेगी, which is very untrue. When it comes to sharing your story, when it comes to any language of preference, you guys are free to use any language that you guys are comfortable with. आप कोई भी लैंग्वेज चेंज करोगे तो आपकी स्टोरी तो चेंज नहीं होने वाली है, बट यस योर कंफर्ट एंड द वे यू वांट टू टेल योर स्टोरी, आपको जो इमोशनल डालना है वो डेफिनेटली मैटर करेंगे वो चीज में. So again, we have been to colleges wherein students are from tribal universities, and it was very important for us to cover the fact that English ही सब कुछ नहीं होता. Like coming to JNLU, I'm sure like you guys are well versed with multiple languages, but yes, I would want to tell it to you guys also that English is not the only language. जो लैंग्वेज में आपको कंफर्टेबल फील होता है आप वो लैंग्वेज में प्लीज स्टोरी भी शेयर करना, वही लैंग्वेज में इंटरनली भी बात करना, एंड वन डे इफ यू डिसाइड टू शेयर योर स्टोरी विद व्हाटएवर द फॉर्मेट इट इज, feel free to use any language that you want. In Find the Relevance, every platform is different. Reels कौन बनाता है? Who makes reels? Right? So जो reels बनाता है ना उनको तो definitely पता है, जो नहीं बनाता है वो भी बोले कि reels पे नाचना पड़ेगा तो नाचना पड़ेगा, right? Like there is no alternative to it. If you decide to share your story in a video format, आप choose कर रहे हो कि वहाँ पे visuals भी होंगे, वहाँ पे audio भी होगा. अगर आप डिसाइड करोगे कि मुझे एक न्यूज़लेटर के हिसाब से है वहाँ पे एक फोटो होगा और डिस्क्रिप्शन होगा. आप अगर ये बोलोगे कि मुझे लिखना है, लाइक समवन विल राइट माय बायोग्राफी, आई विल राइट एन ऑटोबायोग्राफी, देन इट्स इन द रिटन फॉर्मेट, वहाँ पे विजुअल भी नहीं है, वहाँ पे साउंड भी नहीं है, राइट? सो एवरी प्लेटफॉर्म, द प्लेटफॉर्म दैट यू चूज will not change your story. The platform that you will use will help you in telling your story in a particular fashion. Okay. Also, all consumption is unique. TikTok तो अभी बैन हो गया है. But back in the day when TikTok was there, we used to find a lot of content cringe, right? But कहीं ना कहीं हमको ये भी पता था कि ये जो content हमको अगर पसंद नहीं आ रहा है, पर वहाँ पे उनके पास millions of followers है and hundreds of millions of views भी है उसपे, right? After TikTok is not in our country, we shifted to other formats. Facebook पे कुछ और consume करते हैं, Instagram पे कुछ और consume करते हैं, and whatever you are consuming, whatever you like consuming, it's very personalized to you and it's okay. Don't let anyone come and tell you कि ये क्या ही देख रहे हो तुम, right? Because you like it, you are watching it, you are finding it relatable, you're finding some set of truth inside is that a reason you are watching it, right? So and when you decide to share your story through any of these formats which other people are like यार ये तो respectable format नहीं वैसा नहीं है. If you are comfortable in sharing your story with through reels, yes, please make a lot more reels through. Do share your stories through reels. If you think that I want to write a poem, I want to write a shairi, yeah, please go ahead, do that, because the format and the platform that you use will influence your storytelling, but your story will never change. Okay. Coming to newsletters, so after the session for next 4 months, that is September, October, November, December, in these 4 months, we are going to run a Champions for Change as a mentorship and an internship program at UNICEF and UVA. Newsletters are going to be a big part of it. ये जो newsletters है ना, ये newsletter JNLU का newsletter होगा. ये newsletter में आपकी stories होगी. ये newsletter में हम आपसे आके ये पूछेंगे कि ऐसा कौन सा मूवी का डायलॉग है जो आपकी मेंटल हेल्थ डिस्क्राइब करता है, ऐसी कौन सी स्पेस है जहाँ पे आप जाते हो या वो स्पेस के बारे में सोचते हो जब आप बहुत ज्यादा लोनली फील करते हो. व्हाट इज योर सेफ स्पेस? सबमिट अ फोटो ऑफ दैट. Okay, so these newsletters are going to be very quirky, very creative, and ये newsletters हम पहले युवा और students of JNLU बनाएंगे. The 10 students who are getting to be the part of the mentorship program will collectively be making it. ये जाएगा फिर obviously like college में तो distribute होना ही है. This will go across to UNICEF and to the government of India, and then we'll be telling it to the government that yes, this is the youth of JNLU. This is what they're thinking, this is what they're feeling, this is what they actually want. So these newsletters that we are going to produce are larger than what we are doing currently. These newsletters are going to be produced and sent across to the government of India, stating that this is what we actually want. And maybe immediately NEP के लिए along with the NEP we might not have immediate changes, but this is the batch that is going to decide to raise their voices and say that हमको ये चीजें चाहिए. So the batches who are going to come to JNLU or any other university in Gujarat in the coming years will have a better inclusivity when it comes to mental health, will have better inclusivity when it comes to storytelling, will have better inclusivity when it comes to even academics. Okay. Yes, we'll produce 4 newsletters. If we can produce more newsletters, if you guys are up for it, then surely we can do it. And yes, do not let anyone come and tell you that the platform that you are using and the way that you are consuming your content is not right. Okay, if you like it, if you're watching it, then it's and if you find it relatable, then it's your platform, it's your content, and it defines you as a person, as an individual. हम लोग individual बोलते हैं ना कि individual is solo, right? So if you have a particular set of consumption, it defines your individuality, and let no one question your individuality, because that is what makes you unique. That was about finding the relevance. Third, we have find the emotion. Again, we have Siddhant with us. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
इमोशन के बिना जिंदगी ऐसा हो जाएगा जैसे बिना बचपन के बड़े हो गया.
मूवी में ये डायलॉग आया था, शायद स्किप हो गया रहेगा, बट नाउ दैट यू रीड इट यू आर लाइक दिस इज वेरी ट्रू, राइट? लाइक दिस इज वेरी स्कैरी टू रीड. इट्स फाइंड द इमोशन. वी आर एन इमोशनल कंट्री, ठीक है? लेट्स जस्ट एक्सेप्ट द फैक्ट. हम लोग इतने ज्यादा इमोशनल है कि हमारे एडवर्टाइजमेंट में नमक में भी इमोशन, ठीक है? हम लोग इतने ज्यादा इमोशनल है कि जो ट्विटर फॉलो करता है ना, उनको याद रहेगा कि हमारे यहाँ पे ट्विटर पे एक हैशटैग ट्रेंड किया था इंडियंस ने, हैशटैग बैन ट्विटर ऑन ट्विटर, ठीक है? बिकॉज़ आउटरीच था, ठीक है? इंडियंस आर वेरी इमोशनल दैट वे. एंड नाउ अब एक इंडिविजुअल लेवल पे एक चीज पूछता हूँ कि आपके साथ ये हुआ होगा, आपने किसी से अगर फीडबैक मांगा होगा ना, इसका फीडबैक क्या है, और उसे बता दिया ना फीडबैक, तो आप एकदम आउटरीच हो जाते हैं, ऐसे क्यों बोल रहे हो, राइट? क्योंकि हमको ना बचपन से ये भी नहीं सिखाया गया कि कंस्ट्रक्टिव क्रिटिसिज्म नाम की भी चीज होती है, एक जेन्युइन फीडबैक भी होता है, कि पॉजिटिव ही चीज बोलना वो जरूरी नहीं होता. एंड इमोशनल में कुछ गलत बात नहीं है, ठीक है? हम लोग इमोशनल इसलिए हैं क्योंकि हम लोग मीनिंग ढूंढ रहे हैं, हम लोग पर्पस ढूंढ रहे हैं चीजों में, इसलिए हम लोग बहुत ज्यादा इमोशनल है. हमको बचपन से मेजरली लड़कों को ये सिखाया गया रहता है ना कि मर्द को दर्द नहीं होता, मर्द को रोना नहीं चाहिए. अगर कोई लड़का रो रहा है तो उसको बोलते हैं क्या बच्चों जैसे रो रहा है, इवन वर्स बोलते हैं क्या लड़कियों जैसे रो रहा है, इवन वर्स थिंग टू से. ऐसा कहीं नहीं लिखा कि लड़कों को रोना नहीं चाहिए. हम रोते क्यों हैं? Why do we cry? हम लोग कोई भी इमोशन में आके एक बार रो सकते हैं ना, कि हम लोग गुस्से में भी रो सकते हैं, खुशी से भी आंसू आते हैं, हम लोग दुख में भी रोते हैं. Why do we cry? Can anyone tell me?
For emotional unburdening.
Exactly, क्योंकि हमसे कुछ सहन नहीं हो रही है चीजें, हमसे कुछ सहन नहीं हो रहा है, तो हम लोग एक रॉक बॉटम हिट करते हैं और हम लोग रोने लगते हैं वो चीज को लेकर, कि जैसे यहाँ से चालू हुआ है कि चीजें सहन नहीं हो रही है, नहीं हो रही है, नहीं हो रही है, नहीं हो रही है, फाइनली यू हिट द रॉक बॉटम एंड यू स्टार्ट क्राइंग. उसके नीचे कुछ नहीं, उसके खाली ऊपर ही जाना है. So when you cry, no, it is said in our country कि crying is a sign of weakness. Crying is never a sign of weakness. Crying is a sign of absolute strength, because when you cry, you are very true to yourself. When you are vulnerable, you are very true to yourself. Okay, so do not come and let anyone tell you, majorly men sitting in the room right now, that do not come and tell you that crying is a bad thing. Crying is a sign of weakness. Crying is always a sign of strength. Again, coming to Mo's story, Mo नहीं कर रहे हो, आपको पता है कि जब भी आप डालोगे ना तो सामने वाला बैठा ही है ये करने. But when if someone is taking the risk and deciding to share their stories, give them a little bit of joy, give them a little bit of happiness, give them a little bit of support, थोड़ा empathy दो उसको, ठीक है? And then you see, when you decide to share something, that person will never make fun of you, because that person knows that you are not judgmental. That person will immediately be closer to you. Okay, so there is no formula, and yes, internet changes every day. Like Twitter is the example for it. Like every day there is a new hashtag that trend. It's just a matter कि हम change हो रहे हैं कि नहीं change हो रहे हैं internet. The biggest risk is not taking a risk. Innovation is awesome. We just covered that कि आप एक बार risk लेकर देखना. सोशल मीडिया पे जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, ऐसे पोडियम पे आके इतने सारे लोगों के साथ बात करने की जरूरत नहीं है. आप एक ऐसा इंसिडेंट ना रिस्क लेके अपने बेस्ट फ्रेंड को बताओ जो आज तक कभी बताया ही नहीं, and then see what's going to happen. The first thing that is going to happen is your best friend will start sharing their things, and then you will see, how pure this relationship is getting, just because you guys decided to speak your hearts out, and you guys are taking the risk of sharing things with each other. And the best thing that that's there between two folks when they're sharing something is called trustability, right? You start trusting the other person more, and the other person also starts trusting you. So yes, do take a risk whenever you feel like sharing something very personal with you guys. Next is make conversation, not war. We have, I think this is one of the last lines that we have. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Make conversation, not war. Yes, there is negativity online. Yes, there is gender issue. Gender issue in our country, we don't really have a lot of conversations happening as compared to the other countries. But yes, we are improving. Every year we see something or the other happening, and there is more inclusivity. But again, when it comes to the identity, for any human being, okay, अगर मैं आपसे बात करते टाइम ना आपके pronouns नहीं बोलूंगा ना, तो आपको एक existential crisis हो जाएगा कि मैं कौन हूँ, right? So at an individual level, it is very difficult to bring about the change, as we just saw during child, like we spoke of during child labor as well. When it comes to inclusivity, for our friends from the queer community or LGBTQ plus I community, the bare minimum thing that we can take care of is taking care of the pronouns. It's difficult. It's difficult because बचपन से सिखाया ही नहीं ना. We have never been taught to use gender neutral they as a pronoun. कभी सिखाया ही नहीं. It's going to be very difficult. Even today, like Mo will definitely say, whenever I talk with Mo, I take Mo's name while talking to them. ठीक है. So the bare minimum thing you can do is you can ask someone from the queer community their pronouns, and if it's difficult for you to use the pronouns, just start using their first name. Is it okay? Perfect. So that they don't feel that they are excluded from the society. Yes, there are social challenges. We spoke of child labor, but there's an opportunity of making people feel less alone by having empathy. Have empathy. Okay, when you start listening to someone, no, when someone is coming in and talking to you about things, don't tell them कि okay, ऐसे होता है ना कि whenever our friend would come to us and be like, अरे सुन ना मेरी life में problem हुआ, and the immediate thing we say is, अरे तू वो छोड़ तू मेरा problem सुन. It's always competition. So whenever someone would come to you and starts to share something, listen to that person. Because when you listen to that person is always going to listen to you. So we need to listen as much as we talk, and whenever you're listening to someone, whenever we are talking to someone, have a little bit of empathy. Because once you start to know the person, you will never. Once you know the story of a person, you cannot be mad to that person. Okay. And we really need to be kind. Can someone name any personality that are world famous and they have no haters? They are very respected.
Ratan Tata.
And any other person?
APJ Abdul Kalam.
APJ Abdul Kalam. Okay, let's consider Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam ji, and let's consider Ratan Tata ji. Very different personalities, ना? कॉमन में तो बहुत कम चीजें है वो लोग में कि एक हमारे साथ है एक हमारे साथ नहीं है. एक ने अग्नि मिसाइल बनाई है, एक सीईओ है कंपनी के, एक बहुत ज्यादा पैसा है और फिलैंथ्रोपी का काम करते हैं, और एक के पास पैसा नहीं है एंड उन्होंने फिलैंथ्रोपी का एज सच कुछ पैसों के रिलेटेड काम नहीं किया. बट दीज पर्सनालिटीज दे हैव वन थिंग इन कॉमन. व्हाट इज दैट वन थिंग? They're both humble. Someone said kind. They're very kind. आपको क्या लगता है? So काइंडनेस तो हमको बचपन से ये भी नहीं सिखाया गया है कि इट्स अ स्किल. एवरीवन शुड हैव काइंडनेस. ये हमको सिखाया नहीं गया है बचपन से. आपको ऐसा लगा? हमको ये सिखाया गया है कि जिस दिन हमारे पास बहुत ज्यादा पैसा होगा ना, तभी एक्ट ऑफ काइंडनेस चालू करेंगे हम. ठीक है. एक्ट ऑफ काइंडनेस के लिए वेट करने की जरूरत नहीं. आपको क्या लगता है कि रतन टाटा जी के पास जब भी बैंक अकाउंट का एक्सेस आया उसके पहले वो काइंड नहीं थे? काइंड होंगे, डेफिनेटली होंगे. The act of kindness ये नहीं है कि इतना ज्यादा पैसा डोनेट किया है. Act of kindness ये नहीं है कि इतने लोगों की हेल्प कर दी. Act of kindness is also saying thank you to the watchman who said good morning to you or wishing good morning back. Act of kindness is also that when I'm talking, you guys are not making fun of it. Like that is also an act of kindness. Act of kindness is next time you see the person working, some child working, and you go to them and tell them, you're doing a good job, but what is your story? Act of kindness is saying thank you to the lift guy who is helping you guys in pressing the button and take to your floor. So act of kindness doesn't require something for you to achieve first. Also, with our mental conditioning, everyone wants to do something great in their life, right? हमको दुनिया में छाप छोड़ के जानी है, कुछ बड़ा सा करना है. So again, there are two options of doing. One is we can be a bad person like someone like a Hitler, and still be famous, but no one is going to remember us for the good deeds, right? But and there is another option where we do good things, ताकि हम लोग अच्छी चीजों के लिए याद रखें. So when we say that we want to create an impact and we want people to remember, people are not going to remember us. People are going to only remember kindness. And kindness is the only thing that is immortal in the world. There is nothing else that is immortal but kindness. So be kind to each other, be kind to yourself. Forgive yourself for the things that you did not know when you were younger. Okay, be kind to yourself. We are not kind to ourselves. We are very hard on ourselves. Be kind to yourself also and be kind to others as well. Okay, that completes to prove a point that everyone is a storyteller sitting here, and like there is no formula in storytelling, but yes, there are things that we need to take care of while we are sharing the story. Coming to UNICEF X UA Champions, we are going to onboard 10 students from GNLU to be the part of Champions for Change as a program. The program will have 3-4 major things. First is the online workshops and the training sessions. It's going to be there for 4 months, September, October, November, December, and there will be 4 online training sessions that will happen. We'll cover topics like gender issues, we'll cover mental health when it comes to patriarchy, we'll cover mental health when it comes to inclusivity. We will speak about child labor, child marriage, etc. And one of the reasons that we started off this program is because students came and like you guys came and you guys told us that we need world leaders. Okay, we and a lot of people said that we don't want to lead, we don't want the leaders to we don't want to wait for the leaders to come. And we got to know this insight because a lot of students, so like maybe 70 out of 100 students must have come and told us that when we were kids in school, only the top 5 students of the university or of my school had gotten the chance to be the part of the elocution competition. So we immediately started looking at them as our leaders. ये लोग कुछ करेंगे because they have given an opportunity. So then we understood this. It is not about students don't want to become the leaders. It is that there is not enough opportunity for people to become leaders. So this is the reason we started off the program. There will be 10 students from your university. There will be similarly from all the colleges that we've been to across Gujarat. There will be 10 students from these universities. So the first thing that will happen is you'll immediately network with students from across Gujarat, and these students will be from various SEC backgrounds. These students will be from various educational backgrounds, etc. So first is definitely the training shall happen. We'll conduct a lot of open mics with you guys. We'll produce a lot of newsletters, and then there will be the graduation. You guys can take a photo of this if needed. These are the roles and responsibilities. First is the facilitation of the 4 workshops. Second is awareness about the open mic and post stories regarding the upcoming workshop. When you read this thing, you guys will think that these guys just want to use our social media platforms for the publicity of what these guys are doing, but that is not true. We are UNICEF, we are UA, we really don't need that. Okay, this is done to create the FOMO because it's going to be a very exclusive program, and not everyone will get an opportunity to be the part of it. Next year onwards, we'll obviously, this year we are taking 10 folks. Next year onwards, we'll have more folks as well to be the part of the program. The 4th point is get the required number of students. Again, no one's going to come and tell you कि 20 लोगों को लेकर आओ. You will be given a guest list of say anywhere between 2 to 5 of your friends who you would want to call and to tell them that this is the uber cool program that we are going to be the part of. This is the program through which we are going to be the next world leaders. Yes, I mean, no one is going to ask you to publicize anything. Okay, we are not going to ask you to get 100 students because you guys are a part of a program, because this is not an internship. This is a proper mentorship program that we have created. Act as mediators in inputs and facilitation of the coordination between students, management, UNICEF and UA. Obviously, after today, we'll go back to our offices and we'll start working from the office. Till the time you guys don't come and tell us that this is what you guys actually need and this is what is happening inside your college and this is what is happening around you in your city, we will never get to know what is happening. So a steady insight is what we will definitely need from you guys. When it comes to your time dedication, I don't think there'll be more than 15 hours a month that you guys will have to work for this, and it's going to be there only for 4 months. After every online workshop, each champion will be assigned a monthly creative task. It is going to be that task only, what describes your mental health. which is your safe space, or there will be other quirky things also that we will ask you guys for. The 10 students will be selected, will be trained to make the newsletters. Will train you guys how to write the content, how to do the designing of the newsletter, how to publish it, and how to send it across to all the students. Everything will be taught to you guys because it's your newsletter. It's a newsletter with your stories. Uh, Sharing insights and stories of your college for the newsletter. Added the point separately because since it's a newsletter of GNLU, and specifically we would require insights happening at GNLU. कि अगर कोई festival हुआ है, if there is something great that has happened, we'll cover that as well. Again, this newsletter will not only just talk about the importance of mental health. The newsletter is going to talk about everything good, bad, okay that is happening at your university. What is in it for you? First, yes, you will be mentored by the industry leaders and you will be getting the chance to be the part of UNICEF Champions for Change. You'll get the certificate from UNICEF, we'll be getting the certificate from UVA. Again, you know, these certificates is a one line that you put in your resume or your CV. Ki, I was a champion for change at UNICEF. But this thing will definitely reflect your interview. Also, UNICEF doesn't really, like UNICEF and UVA, we don't really run a lot of internship programs or say mentorship programs. This is one of the kind that we have come up with, and you know, I would like to urge everyone to do apply and do participate for this thing because we want people like you to be the part of the program. We have been to a lot of engineering colleges, we have been to a lot of science colleges, we have even gone to medical colleges. This is the only law college that we have come to, and like being the future lawyers, being the future, being the folks who are going to work in the legal system of our country, we do really want people like you to be the part of the program at a very early stage. And yes, exclusive features in the newsletters. When I say exclusive features in the newsletter, that doesn't mean that the newsletters are only going to your college. It'll be going to UNICEF, it'll go to the government of India. It'll also be we're trying to get it published on the international forum as well for the world to know what is the youth of Gujarat. We have our storytelling open mic. It's going to happen right now. And I'm almost done, okay? What I'll do is I'll just share my story once. I've just shared a certain part of change in my career. Yeah, okay. Great. We'll have a break also. Because yes, it's you guys have been sitting us for a very long time. Also, if you guys want to attend the storytelling open mic, then we have rules to follow. Okay, I'll tell you guys the rules. I mean, if you guys are not interested in sitting for the open mic, whoever is not interested, it's okay. You guys can leave. But if you are here when we start the open mic, then we'll follow a certain set of rules, and then we can start the open mic. And yes, the last dialogue. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
सबका टाइम आएगा.
Right, सबका टाइम आ गया, आपका टाइम भी आ चुका है. Now the platform, the stage will be given to you guys. You guys are going to share everything, and I'm going to listen. And thank you so much for listening to me. Also, सबका टाइम आएगा is because अगर कोई आके अगर यहाँ पे बैठा है उनको शेयर करने में डर लग रहा है, फिर फाइनली अगर शेयर नहीं कर पाए तो रात को नींद नहीं आएगी. बहुत ज्यादा फोमो हो जाएगा कि यार थोड़ी हिम्मत करके उठ जाता और मैं शेयर कर लेता ना, तो आज मेरी भी स्टोरी सबको पता चलती. जब भी मैं की वो है ना, गीत को ट्रेन पकड़नी है. This is that train. Let's try to catch the train. I've written down 2 Instagram IDs. One is @VRUva. Do join us, yaar. We produce a lot of content that is relatable to the youth. The other is my ID, guy in a pink cap. If after the session you want to talk to me about something, yes, I'm there to talk to you. If later you want to reach out to me and be like, you know, मैं सबके सामने तो नहीं बात कर पाया या बात कर पाई, but I want to talk right now, I am there available. We have produced a lot of mental health resources also. You guys can check it out on our Instagram as well. And if nothing, then yes, please follow me because even I like attention and respect, so even I'll get a lot of followers.
Finally.
Yeah, that's all from my end. Yeah, this is Dhruv Mistry. Thank you so much. Yeah, one last thing also sorry. ये हमेशा होता है ना, बाय बोलने के बाद 2 मिनट बात करनी important है. What we'll do is we'll create a WhatsApp group. We'll share it across with the committee that is organizing this. Share it across with the professors also. You guys can join the WhatsApp group and we'll put the application form for the Champions program as well. Once you fill it, my team shall start reviewing the applications that we have gotten through the selection criteria that we have. After going through one round of selection, you will get a telephonic interview. don't worry that if you're unable to pick it up, we can schedule the call also. The team is very good that way. And if you're through, you'll be added to another group. If you're not, then we'll let you guys know that you're not a part of the program this year. Okay, so this is a process we're going to follow. We'll make the group and we'll share the link with you guys. Done? Thank you. We have 10-15 minutes break for the folks who would want to sit here. You can sit here. You guys can go out as well. We'll reconvene in 15 minutes. But once we are back in 15 minutes and we are here for the student and open, we will follow those rules. Okay, done.
Just because the open mic is confidential in a way, we will be covering that. But thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed.